Hello, can I hear myself? I think I can. Hey y'all, I was just in here talking to my camera, which is Patreon. This is a live episode, so it's not live because obviously y'all aren't listening to this as I'm recording it, but it's live in the sense of today is Thursday and it is releasing on Thursday. So normally I have this ahead of time and I post it, but this past week has been insane. And so Keke Palmer, if you are listening to this, or if anybody who is in direct contact with Keke Palmer, I need you to tell her that I would like her to be the character that plays me in the biopic of my life, because I feel like she is the actress that embodies me, you know? And then maybe, she's definitely going to be like me in my prime, right? But I need, who's going to be childhood me? I'm not really too familiar with too many childhood actresses right now, like child actresses or like younger actresses. But I don't know. I feel like maybe would Viola Davis be older Kia? I don't know, but I just know I want Keke Palmer to play me. I feel like that's the only person who can play me. So we need to get this thing on a road. Production, where y'all at? Let's get this thing on and popping. But yeah, this has been the most insane week. Okay, I softly wrote down, because I be trying to write it down, because y'all know I just get to talking and then it's all over the place and I don't really know where to go from there. Let me move this in so y'all can hear me, because I'm sitting on the couch. Okay, I can hear myself in the headphones and I see the sound waves going, so I'm assuming that it is recorded and it sounds great. But y'all know, y'all get what the fuck I give you, because let me just give you the rundown of my week. Okay, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so the last time I recorded was last Wednesday, the day before. Well, that's the last time I recorded a full episode. It was the day before just shit went down. So Wednesday, I went to work. Wednesday was a chill day. Thursday, what happened? Let me look. I wrote it down. Okay, so Thursday, Katie and I went to the bar. So y'all know, grad school has been so much fucking fun. It's a lot of work. It is. And I also found out that it's not going to be as quick. Well, I knew it wasn't going to be a quick process, but I was under the impression that I would be in school for the next 2 years and then I would get my licensure, which is technically correct, right? But I'll graduate with a graduate license. So there's no, to my knowledge, at least not, and I don't, because it's, once you start throwing state legislations and all that stuff into it, it gets a little wonky. But to my knowledge, is it Maryland? Well, anyway, as with a graduate license, the idea is that you are practicing under someone else. So whether that's a medical center, a community center, or private practice, you are getting supervision hours. Well, you have to. You're within the next 2 years. You're getting supervision hours from an actual fully licensed art therapist, or just therapist in general, before you can become a fully licensed art therapist. I think in the whole process to receive my official licensure, I need 3,000 hours of direct client interaction. And so I know the first 1,000 hours I'm going to get in my grad school experience, with shadowing and the stipulations for what constitutes as an hour. I used two big words in that sentence, and sometimes I'm very much I just be using words because they sound good, and then I'll be like, wait a minute, that's not what I was supposed to do. but anywho, I was talking about hours. And yeah, so what constitutes as a clinical, or like hours towards your licensure in not undergrad, in the actual graduate program is different than once I start the field. Like once I start the field, the next 2,000 hours that I need to get are like direct client. I can't count doing paperwork and doing notes and things. Like I have to be interacting with my clients. So it's the idea that after I graduate, my program's 2 years, and then within the next 2 years, I'm working full time to get my clinical hours, or my my client hours. It's some other name for it. I don't fucking know. So I say all of that to say that it's really gonna take me 4 years to become a fully licensed therapist, which is not a problem at all. I'm having the greatest time. I was supposed to start grad school last year, and I don't know if I said this before, but if you're new here, welcome. I talk a lot, I lose my train of thought a lot, and I repeat myself sometimes, but y'all still here. People are still here, so somebody like it. So it's hot. I knew I should have turned that fucking AC off, y'all. I was talking to Patreon before I turned this on. It's hot in here, but you know my air conditioning be loud, so I be trying to be courteous. And I have not gone to bed at like a good, reasonable time at all the past week. That's why I started. This is what I'm talking about. My week. It's been fucking insane. Like I didn't even get in the house till 4:00 in the morning last night. And I definitely just said fuck it, and I laid on the couch and I found a comforter and I fell asleep. But then also like the window, my balcony door, like that whole wall is the window, and I get a lot of natural light in my apartment, so I have to have the blinds closed because I'm gonna wake up baking, and right now I'm baking. But blankets are comfortable for me, and this is not a blanket, this is a comforter, so it's much thicker, but I ain't got no pants on. I have on panties. I don't usually be having on panties sometimes. I be raw dogging it. I don't raw dog in jeans though. That's a little crazy. Denim on a clit, wild. You gotta be like a masochist. Is that the right word? I can Google it. Let me turn this AC on first, because bitches is getting delirious. Whew. Sorry y'all on Patreon if my necklace is whatever. Damn, I'm just knocking shit with my kneecaps. My bad, y'all. My bad. Where are my headphones at? Right here. Okay. It's back on. If y'all hear that in the background, oh fucking well, because mama is hot. Literally and figuratively. Well, it's not really figurative because I'm a hot little spicy. Y'all saw my menu. I'm so proud. I officially released my my menus as a sensual dom. I'm so excited. I'm having so much fun, y'all. Go check it out. 21 plus, 18 plus, but like really, no, I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. But like no kids. Stay away. I don't need none of the kids. But back to what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Where's my notebook? Well, I started out with talking about Katie. But, that's what happened. I was talking about grad school. So I was supposed to start grad school last year, but didn't. And now I'm starting. And I'm starting at the same time that I'm starting my sex work journey. And everything is aligning. Everything is aligning. Like the same things that we're talking about in school about consent and informed consent are some of the same, well, not some of, they are the same things that I'm learning, and being able to hold space with people or for people, and making people feel comfortable. Like sex is such an intimate, a lot of things in this world, if it's safe to argue that like everything focuses around sex, but at the same time we're so shamed for it, even though it's so natural and it's literally how all of us got here in some type of sexual act. Had to be, I mean, even if like you weren't penetrated and you had IVF, like some nigga had to go to the fucking clinic and jerk off and into a cup and you donated sperm. You know what I'm saying? Like it was still a sexual act that started it. I don't know if we've gotten to the point of lab grown babies, but I mean technically I'm not gonna get into that. That's a lot. I'm not gonna get into that. But the point is, some act of sex created all of us. And so for it to be so shamed, but also it's shamed more so for women. And sex is looked at from like a gratification point. Is gratification a word? It's a word today. For men and not really women. But I have been finding that the people I have chosen to share energy with, because everything comes down to energy. You know, you're in an intimate space, you're sharing a lot of yourself with another person. Do you feel safe with that person? Do you feel comfortable with that person? And if you don't, then you shouldn't be doing it. And because you're making ties with a person, like you really need to be conscious of who you're letting within your sacred space. Does that person uplift you and hold you? That doesn't uplift you and hold you. Is that what I'm trying to say? I know I'm trying to say uplift, but I don't know if like uplift and hold is it right. I don't know. I'll be talking. Y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Yeah, sorry. Lost my train of... I'm so bad at this. No, I'm not. I'm not bad at this. But sometimes, like, my train of thought just... I think it's because I be talking and then I start thinking, like, is this making sense? But it do make sense. But then I be like, no, it don't, Kia. And then I have that internal battle of, like, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, let me just fucking get back to my week and how crazy it was. So, I brought up grad school because... my grad stuff has been, like, my work has been attached at the hip. I go almost nowhere without my work. And so Katie and I had went to the bar last Thursday because she had to do some work and I was still doing work. So it was like, okay, like, let's just take our work to the bar. So she's working, I'm working, we having a good time. The lady at the bar wouldn't let me use the picture, like a picture of my ID. I was a little salty, but I was like, okay, maybe that's just the higher power saying you don't need to be drinking anyway. So she wasn't trying to let me get an Angry Orchard because Angry Orchards be bussin'. And if you're like, oh, cider's not real beer here, I don't care. I don't like beer. I'm a cider bitch 10,000%, okay? Give me a 6-pack of Angry Orchard and I will be lit. Like, not like stupid lit, but I start getting there. It's a fun time. I fucking love Angry Orchard. Bold Rock apple cider is also good, and I saw they got some new flavors, so I might dabble in that. But yeah, she wouldn't let me get my fucking Angry Orchard. So there was a big family there, and they was a little loud, right? We was like, dang, in the middle of the day, like it's Thursday at 12 p.m. What's happening? But they actually were there because unfortunately they were celebrating a funeral. And I say celebrating because like they was celebrating, like they were having a good time. Yeah, it's sad, but it was just like they were still celebrating that person's life and celebrating each other. And so that was really beautiful to see that black family. They was having a great time. And so one of the people who was there, he was getting ready to leave, and this other dude was like, nah, before you leave, come take this shot, da da da. And the dude was like, nah, I'm trying to go home and take a nap. So Katie decided she wanted to interject, and she's like, come take this shot before you take the nap. So then that's when the dude was like, yeah, come take this shot before you take the nap. So both of them come over to the bar. They get to talking to us, and they was like, oh, shots for everybody. So I was like, I can't take a shot because I don't have my ID. And so he's like, who said that? I run this bar. No, he don't. He don't run that bar, but he just be there all the time. So he starts talking to the lady about ordering the shots. She was like, no, she can't have any. She doesn't have her ID. I'm like, all right, bro, like, you doing a lot, but whatever. So when she's not looking, why he sneak me his shot? But I'm not gonna say no. I remember 3 shots. I'm not really sure. Like, I was not blackout drunk. I wasn't crazy drunk. I wouldn't even say I was drunk. But I did lose track of shots And I was like, how the fuck did we get here? Because Katie wanted to fucking put her business in other people's business. Like, bitch, you be the main one. Well, Katie do be drinking, but she be the main one ready to take a nap. Why didn't you let that man go home and take a fucking nap? Now we in the bar fucking drunk as shit, and I'm trying to do homework and you trying to work. Like, how? The whole point was to avoid this, and this is exactly where we ended up. So I never really got the guy's name. His name is Unc. Everybody was calling him Unc. He's Unc. And then we met Nephew. And we were supposed to go to Nephew's birthday on Sunday, but it ended up not happening. But yeah, we was at the bar with Uncle and Nephew and cousin and brother and all of them. Like, we were having a fucking ball. I had a blast. And then I came home and I had signed up for this virtual wax class, because I think the wax class is like were they in New York? No, they were actually in Detroit, Michigan. It was a dungeon in Michigan that I had found the event through FET. And so I got a virtual ticket, but I slept through my alarm. So I woke up in the middle of, I think like, it wasn't that late. I think I woke up like 20 or 30 minutes into it. So I didn't really miss a lot, but I have until today actually, because it's not 24 hours, however many hours is in a week. Hey Siri. Oh wait, no, I don't want to do that too loud, because my phone might pick up and stop recording. Let me get up and check that real quick, because y'all, I'm so fucking mad. I recorded a mini-sode last week. Oh shit. Okay, I recorded a mini-sode. Okay, we still good. I recorded a mini-sode last week, and my dumbass didn't fucking turn the camera on. I mean, not the camera, the mic on. So I recorded a whole 20 minutes of just silence. And then I was gonna keep the audio. Well, I said this in a mini-sode already, so y'all go check out this week's mini-sode. But even then, this week's mini-sode, that was another reason why it took me so long, and I'm recording the day of, because I ain't got no fucking space on my phone. So I'm trying to transfer a lot of my videos, because I take so many videos, and I cut videos, and I take screenshots. Like, it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. And when it's easier for me, sometimes I'll like text stuff out, but sometimes it's just easier for me to send a video of me talking to people. And so that's where like a lot of my no context clips come from. But it's easier for me to send a video, and so I send the video, and then it saves, and I forget about it, and I'll just go through my phone. I'm like, what's this? And then it's me saying some wild off the wall shit, because I'm very unhinged. If y'all haven't got that by now, I don't know what to tell you. This is a train wreck in an unhinged podcast. I don't know what I'm giving. You don't know what you're getting, but we love that for each other. We're here supporting each other. So if you've been here since day one, and even if you haven't been here since day one, if you just trickled across this and you're like, I fuck with her, I fuck with you, thank you, because I wouldn't be doing this if y'all weren't here. So I do genuinely appreciate the support. So yeah, took a wax class virtually, learned a lot, super excited to start incorporating that. I actually, my cousin is coming over tomorrow, and I'm gonna do a wax play scene with her, because we went to, I'm looking at my list, on this Tuesday I went to an in-person wax class and actually got to like try it out. And she came with me. So that's the for grad school, what I've been doing. So like, and I talked about this last week, but professionalism and ethics, I'm learning a lot more of the mechanics in like self-awareness with yourself, checking in with yourself, the importance of checking in with other people, and really advocating for communication. And I took a rope class last night, and it opened my eyes. The instructor made a correlation that I never thought about, of like how you can't practice rope play or get involved in this work without acknowledging that rope is actually very dangerous, and rope it has the potential to kill people. Like, if you look at the history of it in the United States of America, or just in general, like, rope has been used for lynching black bodies. And, you know, it's a shame that people don't always make those connections. And it's like, this could be the importance of communication, because if you're working with somebody and you're doing a rope tie, like, it could possibly trigger somebody, and you don't know, and they might not know what it is. But when you put things into perspective, like, I know, me personally, I don't like handcuffs in the bedroom, right? I am fine with being restrained, but for a very long time, as I was growing up, and like, you see like the little furry handcuffs with the keys and stuff, and I didn't know about rope, obviously, or I didn't know about other wrist cuffs or other ways to do. Why is my computer okay? It says it's still recording. I didn't know about other devices or other, besides like maybe like using a tie or something, or a belt or whatever. But I've never been a fan of handcuffs, right? And it wasn't until recently, this may or may not be the case, but I feel like this more so aligns with it, of that handcuffs to me automatically remind me of police brutality and police, and just all the different stories that we've heard and seen, and some of us have experienced. I've never been arrested, but I have seen people be arrested very aggressively in front of me, like, so handcuffs for me are not anything I want to use in play, probably ever. And I think that it's because I make that a connection, and it makes me uncomfortable. So bringing it back to rope, of like, and it really just took me, I probably made that realization like 2 weeks ago. And so that's not to say that that's going to be the reaction in everybody, but it's like, if somebody starts having a visceral reaction in the middle of a scene, that could be a possibility, like, of the trigger. Like, yes, the rope is beautiful. Yes, you can do all these fascinating things with it, but you do have to recognize the danger in it. And then they also talked about, like, appropriation, and how rope is coming from the Japanese culture, and how when it comes over, and I don't really know the difference between Eastern and Western. I don't know that. Cardinal directions, I think, is America Western? Is that like, I never really know when people are talking about that, like in school. I've never picked up on that, so whatever. I know in America, we always stealing shit and trying to make it our own because we're lazy and we do whatever else. But they were saying how, like, an example, a leg tie, like the bends that you, like, when you have your leg like this, and you do a tie, that the Japanese term is futomomo, which means fat leg. I believe that's what it means, fat leg. And it's because when you're bending your leg and tying it, like, as you on Patreon can see, like, it's bringing your leg together and making like this fat, like, it's literally like a chicken leg. Do chickens have backs? I guess they do. Like, the head is up here, and then it has like the neck and the back. Huh. Anyway, yeah, futomomo. So the leg, futomomo it translates to like fat leg, but they were saying that, like, in the US, you'll hear people say fudo, for short, but fudo translates to just fat in Japanese. And so if you're talking to someone from Japanese culture, and you say like, oh, do you know how to do a fudo tie? You're literally saying, do you know how to do a fat tie? And it's just like, what are you even talking about? And they were saying something about, like, there's a I forget what the full term was, but the full term means high hand. So it would be, my understanding is, any type of tie where your hands are literally high. So like right now, for those of you listening, my hands are above my head, so that would be considered the whatever, I forget the name, whatever it is. And yeah, like, your hands have to be in a high position. But they were saying that it's like with your hands behind your back. And let me turn around, y'all, so y'all can see. I don't know if y'all can see, but anyway. So like, people will call this, with the hands behind their back, a Teke. which in Japanese culture that does not translate to anything. And they were saying that they were in a class and like everybody kept saying TK, and then finally the teacher had asked the translator like, what the fuck is what are they talking about, because that's just not a thing. But they were saying that the full, it's like TK is short for the full name, but you need to say the full name because of, again, that translation piece. And so if you're not going to take the time to really understand like the language, then, you know, I think this would be called like a box tie or something. I forget exactly what they said. But anyway, behind the back, this would not be a TK. This would not be a TK. And for those of you listening, my hands are like when you get arrested and your hands are behind your back, low, like probably above your butt. Unless you have like short T-Rex arms, then it's probably like hovering above your butt. Anyway, I'm not arm shaming. Or if like your hands are like this, and so right now my hands are behind my back and they are parallel. I'm kind of holding my elbows. I don't know if that makes sense. But that also wouldn't constitute as, or qualify, I don't know, as a TK, which again, TK is not the proper. But here, where my hands are, they're up, they're facing up, almost like spirit fingers behind my back. That is still not the full term, and I'll eventually look that up so I can give better information. But this would be considered that for the simple fact that my hands are up high and facing like up, but everything else, the placement of my hands wouldn't qualify as that word. But yeah, and the importance of like communication, because I never really thought about it this way, because sex is so shamed. A lot of people do not have the luxury or the freedom to be open about their lifestyle, the things that they're doing within the kink community. And so, you know, you're engaging in a scene, you're playing with someone, and it's like, no matter what you're doing, you have wax play, electro play, rope play, anything, there is the danger, like there's risk. And as a dominant or as a top, a person who's providing that service to someone, you need to be cognizant of those risks, and it's your job as a dominant or a top to mitigate as much of that as you can, because you want it to be a pleasurable experience. But also as a submissive, like, you also hold a lot, or a submissive or a bottom, you also hold a lot of power, but there also needs to be that constant communication between the two of you, because you cannot guess how someone's feeling, and y'all both have to check in with each other. It's important to go into a scene knowing what's acceptable and not. So negotiating, like, this is what I'm comfortable with, this is what I might be interested in, like, can we ease our way into this, and really having that, because should something happen, you know, maybe you're engaging in rope and the rope is too tight and now there's like some circulation issues or nerve damage, or maybe you're doing like anal training or anal play and you're pegging someone or something gets stuck up somewhere. It's like, okay, now what do we do? Like, if we have to go to the hospital, how do you want to handle this? Because as your dominant, maybe I'm out about, you know, all of what I'm doing, but you have not disclosed this part of your life for whatever reason. Maybe you just don't want people in your business, or maybe you have something on the line like a job or family, whatever the case. It doesn't matter. It's just not something that you want to share with the world. But now we're in the ER because there's a fucking object stuck in your ass, you know. So making sure, one, that when you're engaging, and you don't even have to be in the kink community, like, this is just safe practices all around, like being open and honest about anything that's going on with you, how you want to handle things, like, just to make everybody feel safe and comfortable at the end of the day. Yeah, so I'm having a great time. I'm learning a lot. Yeah, so that was Thursday. The bar, cousin, brother, nephew, all of that. the virtual wax class. Friday, I had spent the day with Tal, and she came over. She helped me with my grad school project, because I think the first week I am gonna post the pictures after I'm done with grad school, or once I'm done with my photography class, because I believe I mentioned it last week, but I'm centering all of my photos around kink. So the first one, the first assignment, I did my taste of mango jars. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my page, _simple elegance, and my temptress mango highlights. But my taste of mango jars, when I first started making them, so I started photographing those, because I think, what was the assignment? I don't remember what, I think we had to play with framing and focusing, in like the relation of objects, because pictures are stories, and so what story are you trying to tell? And then the second week we had to, the artist that we studied, Sally Mann, her method is really interesting, and she'll just like sometimes like she takes pictures just because like the novelty of it, whatever she sees, like if she sees, and a lot of photographers do that too, but she has like a series of dog bone photos where she just saw dog bone and she was like, this is cool, let me photograph it, and everybody was like, oh my god, what is the meaning of this? Like, it's just a fucking dog bone. I thought it was cool. And then she has like some other series that were really interesting, like this one that spoke to me was her body farm series. And so she had went to, I forget exactly where, but it was like I think it was a campus, a university that has a cadaver farm. And so she was just like walking around, and it was literal dead body. At first I was like, what the fuck? I was so confused because some of the pictures looked like fake bodies, and they were in different stages of decomposition. So you had like fresh bodies, and you had like the people that were just bone in whatever, if they had clothes on or whatever, but it was like nature was also consuming them, and just the way she photographed it was really beautiful. And like doing that assignment, I really enjoyed that assignment because I've talked about death a lot, but it's inevitable, and it's scary, it's uncomfortable, but it's oddly like the idea of it is beautiful. And like I've found it's easiest for me to cope because it was like starting in 2018, I just started losing people left and right, like of all ages, of all crazy different circumstances. And it was a lot to process, but something that I really started to try to do is like, because I used to have panic attacks a lot around death. The idea of death is like, oh my god, what about me, what about my mom, what about the people, like it sent me into panic attacks. And then I just started losing a lot of people, and it hit me of the reality of it all, and that it could happen at any moment. And how do I cope? I think about my favorite parts of that person, and I try to emulate those characteristics, right? And so I found that a common theme between all of them is that they provided some type of love and light, like regardless of who you are, right? It was always a good time around them. And I'm not religious, I'm agnostic. I do believe that there's a higher power, because it just wouldn't make sense for us to be on this universe without that. But I'm not super religious, and it's not to shame anybody. Your beliefs are your beliefs. It really doesn't have anything to do with me. Like I'm in the business of minding my business, okay? I really don't give a fuck. As long as you're not being disrespectful to me or another person, you can really do whatever you choose to do. But I say that because I've always felt weird telling people like I'm sending you thoughts and prayers, because the actuality of it is I don't pray. I feel the way I was introduced to the concept of praying it's not something that I really resonated with. So me saying, oh, I'm sending you thoughts and prayers and condolences or whatever, I would say that for a long time, but it doesn't feel genuine to me. It doesn't feel like I truly mean that. And it's like I'm saying that, but I'm not even doing it, right? So instead, I tell people I'm sending you light and love, because that is what I have tried to exude from them. And I want to extend that same energy. Like, I now feel like I am a vessel in which light and love emits through. And so I want to send that to you, because life is fucking hard. Like, if there's anything you learn from this podcast, life is fucking hard. And I hate it. But I love it. Done with my little spiel. So, my second assignment I was walking from Broccoli City, and I found a stick on the ground, and I was like, oh, this is cool. So I've been using like my rope. The first project I did the jars and my rope, and then the second project I did the rope and a random wood stick that I found. And then my third project that I just submitted was a portrait project, which is why Tal came over, because she was my subject. And we went out to Baltimore. We had a lot of great food. Oh my God, I had this baked potato it was like an Alfredo baked potato with crab meat and chicken breast. Oh my God, that shit was busting. Oh my God, it was so good. And then I had like a jerk chicken patty, and we had some chicken wings. Oh my God, that shit was so good. I felt like we had something else. We were just eating. And then we went to Spencer's, and I bought some new toys, y'all. Speaking of toys, head on over to Balesa and use code BB2S1P nuts for 30% off. I'm actually, you know what? Insert ad here. Y'all, a bitch just started grad school. So what does that mean? A bitch is stressed. And what should a bitch do when she feeling stressed? Hydrate and masturbate. I got the Demi one, I got the Air Vibe, I got the Thrust, and I got the Pebble. So we about to be busting nuts all summer, you heard? So head on over to Balesa using the link in the description and use code BB2S1P NUTS, because we busting all the nuts, baby. Boom. All right. Back to properly scheduled programming. Is it really proper? Because all this shit is just all over the place. Anyway, so my third project was portraiture, and I actually did not enjoy that because it didn't work out in my head as I thought it would, and I had to do a self-portrait, so I still included the rope. Like I had, and I actually made a video that I'm probably gonna post in Patreon. That's the intent. I had recorded the session or the process. I wouldn't say it was a session, but I recorded the process of me tying up towel and like taking some of the pictures and stuff. So I got it. I haven't actually watched it yet because I'm just like, I have a archive of videos that I've started making, but you know, they're just there. I'll get to them. I'm still working out this balancing act. But anyway, so we did that. And I included rope. I did a tie on her, and then we didn't have enough time, and I was like, I don't know. My approach to learning things is once I'm curious, I just start doing shit. Like pole, I took a pole class, I loved it, and then the world shut down and I was stuck in the house, and I was like, all right, I'm just about to start spinning. So I am very much self-taught in that way. And now that I go to classes and I learn from other people. But that's how I kind of entered this rope thing. And I'm glad that I knew I got tied up. I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. I need to know more. And I was just kind of playing around with stuff in the house. Like I bought my own rope and I just started doing whatever looks cool. But now that I'm taking this class, it's a series over the next 4 weeks and learning from like a professional, I'm getting more understanding of what to do, and this is definitely something that like I plan to provide services rope because I'm trying to work my way up to suspension, and I know rope is something you have to have patience for, and I'm ready to have all the time in the world. But yeah, like I'm very much, if something interests me, I'll just kind of dive in full force, and then I'll start. Like I love learning. I'm having the best time. Like I've been taking my little notepad, and my notes are all over the place, but like, see, I went to a discussion group, and we're talking about speaking up when discomfort arises. Like if somebody's tying you, or you're doing wax and it burns, like it hurts, you need to say something, because I cannot attest your pain. Now, if we've already consented, like, you want pain, that's a different story, right? Like, you want to feel the pain. But if we talked about this and your pain tolerance is not a high one, and that is not what you're trying to achieve, that's something that should be pre-negotiated. Like, okay, my pain threshold is a 5, don't go over 5. And yes, I guess it could be hard to like gauge numbers, but that's where that communication piece comes in, as while you're in the scene and you're pouring wax or you're tying somebody, like, how does this feel for you? Are you still comfortable? Do you want to take it up a notch? Should I bring it back? Like, keeping that communication. And if for any reason, if you are a bottom or a submissive, and your top or your dominant is like, you tell them no, or can you pull it back or whatever, and they're not, get out of that situation as best as you can, unless of course that is part of a part of the negotiation. Like, don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% sure, but CNC, consensual non-consent, the point is kind of like you're doing things that are not consented to, but that was already pre-negotiated. Y'all talked about that. And so I'm not going to get too much into that because I'm not super familiar with that, but I have been seeing that term pop up a lot. So it's something that I am going to eventually like look into and read more, but I'm not at a space where I don't want to spread information that I don't know, and I want to do my best to give proper education. But yeah. So, I went to the discussion group, and so, encouraging. So the role of a dominant is, hold on, I typed it. because I typed it real nice, because I had somebody on my OnlyFans. They reached out to me and was asking questions about it. So let me just read my little spiel, right? So I'm a sensual dom, and that means I virtually, physically, and mentally control my clients by triggering arousal through sensory activation and deprivation, all, of course, with their consent, right? And so I accept clients however they choose to identify. I do not engage in any sexual activities, and so for me, what that means is I'm not having penetrative sex with anybody. As like a dominant, I'm not gonna have sex with you. I'm not gonna do like any oral things, but as a bottom, or if I'm a submissive to a chosen person, but I am fine with being penetrated with objects, but like I don't want to have the physical insertion of a penis inside of me. But you could stick a dildo on a massage gun and go to town, baby. Anyway, but yeah, so that's like one of the opening messages, and he's like, oh, well, a submissive application, what is that? And I asked if he was familiar, or I don't know who it is, but I asked if they were familiar with dominant submissive relationships, and they said no, but they read on it. We love when people take the initiative to do their own education. But basically, dominant submissive is a power exchange dynamic where, as a submissive, you would be serving your dominant however they see fit, however y'all see fit, upon the terms and agreements of your negotiation, or your contract, if it is like an actual that relationship. But an easy example of that, which to say is like, let's say somebody's my submissive, you would be helping me, maybe part of our negotiations, that part of what you do, like a submissive's role, my understanding, and of course if anybody who is more knowledgeable on this, please feel free, send corrections to 2scrippers1pole@gmail.com, or you can DM me about it. But the role of a submissive is to make the dominant's life easier, but as the dominant, you are responsible for your submissive. Like, this person is relinquishing control to you, putting trust in you to steer them in the right direction, right? And that can look different depending on whatever it is. So for me, I would say, as a submissive to me, you would be helping me hone in my skills. The things that I'm interested in experimenting with and playing with, you would be helping me with that, creating content or whatever I need in regular life, or whatever terms and agreements we come to, right? And then my job, though, as a dominant, is that safety piece of keeping your safety in mind, whether that's physical, mental, or emotionally, because the shit that we're doing, like, some people like to be called degrading, or they like to be beat, or they whatever that is for them. And so as their dominant, yeah, you like impact play, but I need to be mindful of how hard I'm hitting you, where I'm hitting you, how repeatedly I'm hitting you, because that can quickly be like, I'm hitting you in one spot, and now all of a sudden that spot is now swollen and bruised, and you can't sit on your ass for 2 months, or whatever the case may be, because I took it too far. So my role as a dominant is obviously to keep you safe, but also to help you grow as a submissive and a person. So if there's something that you want to work on, so maybe you're really interested in pegging, you've never done it before, and that's something that you would like to explore, it would be my job as a dominant to make you feel safe in exploring that part of all of it. So that would be like my, it's make sure you're with, if it's something that you're interested in, you're like, oh my God, I wanna go down this road. Like, make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that you feel safe and comfortable with, to even just talk to be in their presence. Yeah, I've met some great people, and I'm having a great time. Back to my week. So yeah, me and Tal, we went to Spencer's. I got some toys. Then we did the photo shoot, and then we went back out to this place called What's Your Pleasure in DC. And y'all, I can't wait till I get buku bucks, because I'm gonna be in that fucking store. They had all the gadgets. I was having a fucking ball. So I was irresponsible and bought more stuff. So that was my Friday. Saturday, I went to a wedding. I was out Delaware. Shout out to you, Shay. Such a beautiful family, such a beautiful wedding. Like, I had a fucking ball. And of course, my work was right there. I had hung out with some of my friends before I went out. And I had an assignment due the next day that wasn't playing with it. So I rode out Delaware for the wedding. While I was waiting for the actual ceremony to start, I was in there reading, taking notes. And then when we went to the reception, while we was waiting for them to set up the reception, I was taking notes, reading. During the reception, taking notes, reading, like, doing all of that shit. But y'all, there was some fucking, like, the hors d'oeuvres that they were walking around with trays on at that fucking wedding. Rashay, like, you did a fucking bomb ass job. Whoever picked that menu, oh my God, it was like these little egg rolls. They were, I don't know what, they were cheese, like mini cheese steaks. And I don't even be eating ketchup on my shit, but oh my God, it got to the point where the waitress, it was like me and my group of friends, Liana, shout out to you, and me and a group of my friends were just in a circle devouring them shit. Like, as soon as the waitress came out of the kitchen, she knew to come to us. And then it was another woman who was working, and she didn't know, she wasn't hip yet, and she walked past us. Miss Mama's tapped her, said, you skip my friends, go to there. Like, we was fucking them cheesesteaks up. Oh my God, I've never had something so delicious in my life. Well, yes I have, but it was amazing. And then they had these like little crab ball. Oh God, I'm about to fucking nut just thinking about that food. It was so fucking good. Y'all, hold on. Did y'all know that they updated the Wobble? Y'all need to be y'all need to send out an all staff email or something, like broadcast on the TV or something, because I was at this wedding, and before I get into that though, I've already been self-conscious, right? Because I low-key forgot how to electric slide. I did. I was at, when I was in Philly at Isha's brunch, like, it came on, and I think, you know what, it's probably because I'm high. I can't electric slide when I'm high, because then I get too much in my head. So I was doing it, and I was like, I'm missing a step. And then once I realized I was missing a step, it just went downhill from there, and I couldn't catch up. But I was like, I was literally in, who was calling me? I don't know who this is. Is this, oh my God. Okay, hold on. I'm recording. And so,
oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. It's just that I'm gonna go check and see if the if my phone stopped, and on my iPad your number's not saved. Okay, it's still recording. Okay. Your number's not saved, so I didn't know who I was answering the phone to, but I had a feeling it was you.
Okay.
But
well, interview is over. It's a 2-part interview, so I did the first part.
Say hi.
Hi.
It's Moni, y'all. But yeah, okay. You said you did the interview?
I'm about to be on the way. I did the first part of my interview. I have to get a call back around like 4 or 5 to see when I'm going to do my interview on Tuesday.
Okay. Well, yeah, just park in a spot and come on up.
Okay,
you
cool.
still have don't say that.
That's how I got up last time.
Okay. Love you. See you soon. What was I talking about? Y'all, I'm sorry. I just knocked the mic. Cheesecake. Oh! The fucking electric slide. So yeah, I was at Isha's brunch, and I couldn't really, well, I could stop. I could have, but I was like, I have to reconnect. And I'm pretty sure somebody made a comment out the side of their mouth that was like, it was something to like, I don't know. I heard a smart comment from someone, but I was like, dang. So anyway, I forgot how to do that. So then the next time I was presented with the opportunity. I don't really want to say opportunity because it wasn't like I was looking for it. It happened. It was at Broccoli City, and we're doing the electric slide, and I forgot again. And I was like, okay, it got to the point where I was like, all right, I really don't even know what's going on anymore. So I'm gonna just stop, because I feel like it wasn't a big group of us doing it, because people was a little dry. And I was like, I have to stop, because people are looking at us, and I'm the only one in this group that has no idea what's going on. So I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself. Like, I will say I'm fine with embarrassing myself, because my logic is, if I embarrass myself, nobody else can embarrass me, right? It comes to that time where it's just like, all right, bro, like, this is unacceptable. You gotta stop. And so being self-aware is so important. So yeah, and then the next day I went to the Kalani and Pat concert, and I forgot again, and I was like, oh my God, like I'll never be able to electric slide. But I got it. I figured it out. I did it at the wedding. I'm good. I can electric slide again. It was just a brief moment of just not knowing what to do. I can't. Okay. I don't really hear myself as much. I hear it, but I don't. Anyway. So yeah, I'm doing the electric slide. Finally got back on. I'm like, yeah, of course they got to do the Cupid shuffle. Everything's good. Then they turn on a wobble, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go to town. And then they start doing some spinning shit and some like Charlie Browning, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I said, wait, I have never, and it must be some Delaware shit, or some Delaware and Baltimore shit, because I've never seen that, I've never heard it, and I didn't know. So luckily, there's one lady beside me. We both, when they started doing the spins, we both looked at each other like, what the fuck? So we did the classic version, because ain't nobody got time for that. Y'all could spin around and do whatever, but that is something that needs to be a public service announcement. Y'all can't just be changing a fucking line dance and expect, like, this TikTok generation needs to stop, okay? It needs to stop. I'm tired of going into a song thinking, oh, I know the dance moves, or I know the words, and then it's just some complete... No! That is not the move that I grew up on. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Woosah. I was just very caught off guard and very upset, if you could tell. So then Sunday, I went to class, and I was on my way home. I was like, I'm going to come home. I already told the car story. I already told y'all. My car broke down. Go back and check out this week's minisode. So Around the corner from my house, car broke down. I'm just like, I need oil. Molly came and got me. We got some oil. I put it in because it was no oil in there. It was my fault. It's been a while since I got an oil change, I will admit, and I've been driving. Like, make sure you're you're checking in with your car, you're putting oil in that shit, because if the engine locks up, you're gonna be in my predicament. Luckily, my engine did not lock all the way up, so it's still, well, I am getting a new engine, so yeah. Anyway, so Friday, so I'm on Sunday. I already kind of gave that spiel. Monday, I was like, all right, I put the oil in my car so it can make it somewhere. I'm going to take it to the place to get my oil change. Everything will be fine and dandy. I drove there, no problems. I drove back home, no problems. But I was like, I still don't want to do too much because I need my car. And so I had a pole class on Monday night. Y'all, I got my handspring. I have a twisted grip handspring, which if you pole, you know what I mean. If you don't know, you're like in this position. I'll post it in my story so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But I got my handspring. I was so excited. Like, I was having a good day, y'all. So I took 2 classes. Feeling great, got my handspring at the end of class. Like, I was on cloud 9, and I've been masturbating like a fucking rabbit. I've been so fucking horny. Like, I've had so much sexual energy. I've just been in the house fucking... Who is this? My iPad don't be telling me. Oh, okay, this is a towel. Okay, I gotta call her back. But what's I talking about? Energy. I've had so much sexual energy, so I've just been feeling like I just need to release it all. So I have been masturbating like nobody's fucking business, bro. Like, it's just been squirt everywhere, and it's just like I can't stop because I'm horny and I don't know what to do. But at a certain point, it's like, bro, it's a mess. I don't feel like cleaning up this mess. And I be feeling bad when I be squirting and other people got to clean up the mess. But it's like, you shouldn't have made me do that. Why you make me do that? Now we both mad that we standing in puddles. You know what I'm saying? But are we mad? No. But like, in the after effect, it's like, bro, I really got to clean this shit. Like, the other day, I was fucking masturbating and I was facing my balcony door, right? Because the natural light, I was recording. And I had to get that nice, like, the sun-kissed effect. And I fucking just squirted on the goddamn, balcony door, and it was just like imagine being in a car wash and like all the water hits. That's my ASMR that. But yeah, so it was like that, and there's a fucking puddle at the bottom of my balcony door. Now I gotta clean it up. Like, why did I make myself do that? Did it feel great? Yes, in the moment, but in hindsight, it's like, damn, Kia, I should have been more considerate. So I gotta work on orgasm denial. Anyway, why did I tell that? I was on Monday. Yeah. So Monday, I was like on my way from class. And I was super hyped. I was like, oh, I'm going to take a hot bath. Like, I'm going to get myself prepared. I'm going to do a little bit of homework. I'm going to do a little bit of like content creation, like trying to get these. Because I've been working on the menus that I released. I've been working on those for like a month. Like, the original menu that I had made when I first started, it was so much going on. It was a lot. And I still feel like there's a little bit, like, there still needs to be tweaked. But I'm in a space where I'm more comfortable to start advertising it and how it is now. And I do plan to do like a little bit of rework, but not too much. But yeah. So I had this whole plan of doing all that. And then my car got loud. I'm like, yo, Forrest, what you doing, bro? Like, is it past your bedtime? Yes. So I'm sorry that I have you out this late, but like, for real, what you so loud for? Don't nobody need or want to hear that. And then he got to shaking a little bit. I'm like, all right, bro, like, come on. And mind you, I'm like 10 minutes from my house. I'm like, please don't do this right now. And so then I'm like trying to drive, and I'm like, all right, this is getting uncomfortable. And Bella started doing the same shit, and I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. So I pulled over on the side of 495. Mind you, like, where I was at, it was 3 lanes and then 2 lanes merging in. So like, I'm in the middle of 5 lanes. I'm like, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm just sitting there with my hazards on and my lights. Like, if I turn my lights off, then it's dark as shit, and I don't want somebody to not see me. Like, it was a lot going through my head, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know what to do. So I called my mom, because I was like, I'm going to have to tell her regardless, because I was trying to keep the oil change thing from her, but I was like, all right, this doesn't seem like it's going to get better, so I got to let her know. So we're sitting here trying to figure out what to do. She's like, well, call roadside assistance and da-da-da, or do you want me to come to you? And I'm like, Mom, it's late at night. Like, I don't need you out here. You could barely see to begin with. It's Pat. Like, when I called her, you was yawning when you picked up the phone. You don't need to be outside because I don't know how to take care of my car. Like, what? You're my problems. Yes, you're my mom. And yes, I'd be like, oh, a kid is a lifetime responsibility. But my problems are truly not your problems. And I don't want my mom out here because I was being a delinquent. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'll come to you. And I'm like, all right, well, we're sitting here trying to find a plan of action. I'm like, you gonna come to me, then what? I'm not leaving. She's like, you can't leave your car there. I said, I know. So what? You gonna come and then what? What are we gonna do? She's like, well, I'll just follow behind you. I mean, what is that gonna do? And I was like, all right, well, if that's the case, I'll just, because where I was 6 minutes from my house, y'all. 6 fucking minutes from my house. And she's like, well, I told her, I was like, well, if you're going to come to me in the time that you're taking to get ready, if you're in a predicament like this, don't do what I did, because it actually could have been very dangerous. And I because of my actual job that I have to go to, I had to do defensive driving training. So I learned how to operate a car in emergency situations. And it came so in handy because, and I say don't do what I did, because it could have become an incredibly unsafe situation. But I was driving, and as fucking luck would have it, I am turning off of the highway, merging off the highway, and it's like I'm turning to the right. And for me, when I am merging on and off the highway, more specifically because you're at a higher rate, or just in general, even if it's like a, like Greenbelt Road, I don't think there's any turns like that on Greenbelt Road, but like if you're on a large, like a route, or like Route 1, Baltimore Avenue, whatever, or maybe you're in Kenilworth, but I don't think that there's any turns like the one I'm describing. But there are just in general, like long fucking streets. But I bring that up. I've been in the 2 car accidents I was in last year had that we were turning to the right and the car completely lost control. And there was one time in my first car that my car did the similar thing. So for me, turning to the right makes me very uncomfortable. So if you're in the car with me and I'm driving, I will slow down tremendously taking those turns, because it's just like I have to breathe my way through it, or else I will get really overwhelmed. And that's also part of the reason why I don't really like to be in the car with other people. Like, I'm very hesitant about I prefer to drive, because I know when I'm in a car by myself, do I be making reckless decisions all the time? But I'm a little bit more cautious when other people are in the car, but not everybody's like that, and it really makes me uncomfortable when people just be hitting turns and they already be going fast. Like, I've never liked fast cars. Fast cars don't make my pussy throb. I don't know. Like, if that's your thing, good for you, but it's not my thing. And so, yeah. But as I was like merging, my fucking brakes stopped working. I mean, it turned into a fucking brick wall. So I'm sitting here like, luckily I already had the, I guess, wherewithal. But because I was so fucking traumatized, I was already going slow. But obviously I'm going down a hill. So my car is accelerating. And now my brakes aren't working as my car is accelerating. So I literally have no control over the car besides steering it. Y'all, I was like, please, Lord, please, 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 please. Do not let me hit anything, and do not let anybody hit me. And so I was able to safely make it off the ramp. My car is just coasting. Shift the car to neutral as well. but my car is coasting, and it just so happened, like, when I got off the exit, I was able, because it was like one of those weave, so if I had stayed on, I potentially would have gotten that, like, if I were actually able to work my car, I would have got back on the highway headed southbound. But I was able, it was late enough at night that there really wasn't too many people. Well, nah, because motherfuckers was driving past me and my mom finally got there. But at the everything worked out in the perfect time, because everything could have went wrong so quickly, and it didn't. So I'm very grateful. But my car, I was able to get over into the main traffic lane, and my car literally stopped right at the red light. Like, at that line, my car stopped. And I was like, thank God. So then my mom came up, and we had to wait for the tow truck driver, and the tow truck driver took me home. So that was my Monday, right? So my Monday and my Tuesday, I want to do a special. Kia drives a tow truck, because I went on an adventure with a tow truck driver. It was actually, the day in the life of a tow truck driver is amazing. So if you're a tow truck driver, shout out to you, friend. I had a great time. He was a really cool dude. So he like dropped my car off, and we got to talking, cool people. And then the next day, he had helped me take my car to my mechanic. But I was busy, because Tuesday I was in the house all day and I was working. And then I had my wax class that my cousin came with me. But that was like late at night, from like, what time was that class? That was like 7:30 to like 10, I think. And then the driver, he was like, he wouldn't be free till 10 anyway. But he didn't even come. He had a call. He could have predicted that. But he didn't even come to meet me until like probably going on midnight. And I'm not going to lie, bitch was falling asleep. I was like, fuck this car. But he texted me at the right time, because I woke up and I was like, let's get this shit started. So he took me to go drop off my car, but then he got a call. So he was like, oh, like, is it cool if you ride with me? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. So I just went on an adventure. And y'all, this car was stuck in like a ditch, but it was like the ground, almost like in a cartoon, where like the ground just erupts and it's just a huge thing of water just starts flying out. That's essentially what happened. Like, it was mind-blowing. It was crazy. It was like, I don't know how that even happened, because the ground was significantly tore up, and I don't know if the car caused that or if he just wasn't paying attention and got himself stuck into that. But I had a great time, and that the tow truck, he was whipping that thing, I'm telling you. So it's on the bucket list to drive a tow truck. I'm gonna do a special. Kia drives a tow truck. I should start doing specials like Kia does this, right? What's some things y'all want me to do? What's some things y'all want to see me do? So that was Tuesday, and then yesterday it was rope class, and then I had my first Dom session with someone. I was the sub. I was like the bottom for that. But overall, just, it's been a very roller coaster of a week. My car's in the shop. It is going to cost $3,500 to fix. The higher powers are gonna figure it out. That's not my business. Y'all put me in this predicament. Y'all figure it out. Just guide me the right way, and I'll do whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? Very eventful week. Very busy week. Today, because I don't have a car, I'm really just in the house. My cousin, as you heard, she's on her way. She's gonna take me to work so I can do a couple of things that I need to get done. And then tomorrow, we're gonna do, she's gonna help me with my next project for photography. So my teacher assigned everybody random words, and we have to obviously create a composition based on that. So the word he gave me was memory, which is interesting because I've just been noticing a lot of patterns, and I've also noticed really since the beginning of this year, more so in March is where it really started hitting me, but like the idea of nostalgia and like just the littlest things can take us. And that's another thing too, like when you're doing this kind of work of just you don't know how somebody's going to respond to something. So if you're doing like fire play, maybe lighting the fire in front of your submissive or your bottom could call, like maybe if they were in like a car accident and the car got on fire, sorry y'all, this is like a trigger, or maybe they were in a burning building or something, like to see the flame might be too much for them. And so as a dominant or as a top, when you're preparing these scenes, like you want to do fire play, you both, maybe it's something you're both interested in, but your bottom has that trauma, but you wouldn't know that unless you had that open and honest communication. Like, you're dealing with serious stuff, because if I light a candle and place it on your body and then you freak out and you move too fast and it falls over, you could end up in the hospital with a third degree burn. So if you're doing this stuff, whether you decide to go into the kink community specifically, or you're just doing this like with your partner, you're just experimenting, whatever, and you're like, I don't really want to go into that, like, it's still, you need to be having open and honest communication with every step of what you're doing, because you just don't know, and anybody can have a panic attack, even if you don't have anxiety. Anything could just kind of trigger that, like a traumatic response. And also making sure that, like, as you are dabbling or putting your foot into things, or as you're doing research, making sure that you are working with people or learning from people that have some form of trauma, that they are trauma informed, and being able to recognize that, and like also too, as a dominant or a top, because you quite literally have someone's safety, someone's life in your hands, making sure that you have the ability to like remain as calm as possible to mitigate, because if you have two motherfuckers playing with fire and they're both freaking out, that situation could just go even further left so quickly. So like being able to kind of check in and listening to your bottom or your submissive or whatever that relationship is between y'all, and like seeking your own after whatever situation, because that can be a lot. Like you are holding space for someone else to be their most authentic self and explore it. Y'all are exploring things together, and they might have a visceral response to whatever. No, but maybe you're tying them up and they have some unlocked memory of something, or you're playing with fire, you're playing with whatever the fuck you're doing, knives or whatever, and they have a reaction. Like, it is your job as that top, as that dominant person, to kind of safely get them out of that state and bring them back to safety, to comfort, and that can be a lot for you. So making sure that you are also taking care of yourself and holding space for yourself. And so that also goes, like, I've heard a lot of people say it, and the people that I have started playing with and learning from, great people have entered my life, and they've been talking a lot about like energy, which is something I already started paying attention to beforehand, even outside of kink. Like, I am no longer in a space to receive or to give my energy to everyone. One, not everybody's deserving, but two, like, energy exchange, when it's a lot that's happening there. So you don't want to exchange energy with someone that you don't feel safe or uncomfortable with. And you have to be able to hold space for the person that you are engaging with, while still maintaining a space for yourself, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that was my week. That's it. That's all. I'm gonna add the intro music. I'm gonna add my ad, and then I'm gonna listen to this just how y'all listen to it. So I hope this came out right. Happy Thursday. Join me on Patreon. I really, you know what? That's what I need to do. That's my next. I need to give myself that task of like, I need to make a pre-recorded like, join Patreon, join this, join that, because y'all know every week I'll be like, oh, what am I supposed to say again? So I got the lesson taken care of. Patreon, y'all go. Oh, hold on. Coming. My cousin's here, y'all. Patreon. I ain't wearing no pants. Y'all should come over to Patreon so y'all can see my booty cheeks. Hey, cousin. I'm literally was getting ready to finish recording. It's still recording.
Hey y'all.
Speaking to my boobies.
Hey y'all.
Subway. Ooh, that look good, girl. Yeah, so Patreon, come over here. Y'all just saw my booty cheeks. They probably jiggled a little bit. 3 tiers. Go read. I have to update the description, but Toy Talk, and y'all, I haven't done it yet because one, I'm waiting for y'all motherfuckers to come join me, okay? Because I'm not gonna keep putting stuff up there because there's lots of stuff up there for y'all to fucking watch and read. But the type of shit that I'll be talking about, Main Stage has a special segment, Toy Talk, so that's gonna be in Main Stage and Champagne Room. So all of the toys, y'all, I got some vibrating nipple clamps, I got this like little heat and wand, I got a new flogger, I got all types of shit. And you know, I got Balessa, and Balessa got some new toys, so I'm gonna try to get some of them. And then that's in Main Stage and Champagne Room. And then in the Champagne Room, I'm gonna be doing Tales of a Sensual Dom. So just going more in depth, like I said, my cousin is gonna help me with the. Are you okay?
Am I slow?
No, that chair is actually very hard to. So turn it around, facing me, and kick that top bar out.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually stole those chairs. Don't steal, don't be a thief. But I stole those chairs.
Steal from corporations that got money to spare.
Yeah,
Steal
that's
from
what I'm
people who
saying.
work hard
'Cause,
for
like,
their stuff.
I'm telling you, y'all be reverse Robin Hooding anyway.
Steal from Walmart.
Oh, of course, Walmart. So yeah, Tales of a Sensual Dom. So like I said, my cousin is helping me with my grad school project. I didn't tell them what it is. I just told them that the word is memory because y'all gotta wait to see how the photos come out. But I'm really excited. But I'm gonna record me like that whole session of me doing the wax scene on her and the photograph process. Like I said, I did it with Tal too, but I haven't watched that footage yet, so I don't know if it's gonna be a situation where I just combine both of those and make like a combined clip. Duh, kid, that's what combined means. Or if I'll post them separately, we'll see. But then also I got a lot of I have a bunch of stuff of just talking about my journey and how we got here, so that kind of thing. Send questions, stories, and topics to 2scrippers1pole@gmail.com, or you can DM 2scrippers1pole on Instagram. Y'all need to be submitting topics and questions, because as y'all can see, I could go on and on and on and on and on, and I'm happy to go on and on and on and on, but we can't always be going on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Erica Badu. I said email, I said Patreon, I said Balessa. Is there something else I'm missing?
Mango's message.
Oh, thank you. I did. Well, Mango's message. Okay. YouTube. That's what else I was forgetting. Go to YouTube so you can watch the mini-sodes. Mango's message for this week. Practice open and honest communication in everything you do. And yeah, that's it. That's what I've just been repeating this whole time, making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that you trust and you feel safe with. And yeah, because when y'all are talking and y'all are on the same page, it's clear that you're on the same page, it is a great fucking time. I tell you, it's amazing. So yeah, y'all be safe, make good choices.